Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Jeff, and him, Patrick. How you doing?
Yeah, that's me. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, good.
There's games here.
Yeah, there are a lot of games here. We're at the ID at Xbox. I guess like kind of. And there are a lot of interesting games here, and then there's also Dive Kick. I don't know.
They had to change the ID at Xbox, like flash rules.
Flash
like,
games,
games,
we'll allow some flash.
They're getting
games.
a little desperate. They need more games, so they said, I guess.
Yeah. No,
Dive Kick's a game.
I mean, it's a game. Yeah. Like, really, what are we talking about here? Anyway, we made our way around and played some stuff and grabbed a few of the developers of the games that we saw and talked to them. Yeah, and now you can watch that. All right, now we're here with Mike Micah from Other Ocean. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing really good.
Great. It's good to finally see. I'm not sure how to actually pronounce it.
It's IDARB.
IDARB.
Oh, we don't really know either. We just call it that.
You just call it IDARB for now. Now, the what that stands for is what are you saying? What that stands for?
We are actually. It really goes back to when we started this project. We posted a picture of a red box in the center of the screen. It was the first thing we did, and we asked everybody on Twitter, "What should we do with this red box?" And that's kind of how the whole project came to be, because everybody started responding with crazy ideas, like wanted to be a morality platformer, or we wanted to be a shooter, and all this stuff. So we tried everything everybody suggested, just for fun. And all these ideas kind of coalesced into what we have right now. So It Draws a Red Box is IDARB. And we put the hashtag in front because, like, why not? It's free marketing when you do that.
I think you might actually be the first game with a hashtag for a title.
I hope so. I think so. We looked online. We're trying to find any other game that did that. I don't think there is any.
Yeah. So I had to create the page in our database a couple of days ago. I finally went and created it, and I'm like sitting there going like, all right, this might break something. Like pound sign in front of the title might break search. It might break every single, but it actually totally worked.
Yep.
So congratulations. So you tried all these different things, but right now, I mean, this has been going for, I guess, like a couple of months, right? So what is IDARB?
So IDARB right now is a weird mix of like basketball and Smash Brothers and a little flavor of stuff like Bomberman and that sort of thing. It's really weird because like we had it originally, it was like a little deathmatch game, and it was like a 4-player thing. And then once we got the Xbox One, we got a couple kits from Microsoft. After they were following it on Twitter and like, oh, this is pretty cool. Here, let's send you some kits. So once we got it on there, we realized we can go up to 8 controllers. So we just threw 8 controllers at it, and somebody online said, hey, how about you throw a ball in there? So we threw a ball in, and it changed everything. So it's been, every week, it's been almost an entirely different game. And only about a week and a half ago, it landed to what this is, and it's been really exciting. We can't stop playing it, and we've had invites from other studios in the area, like, bring it over, we want to play it too.
Yeah.
And it's just been kind of touring all the developers in the Bay Area, and we've just been having a great time. And they've been giving us all this great feedback. So a lot of stuff that's in there today came from when we brought it by Double Fine and like all these guys that are just local. And they threw all these great ideas at us. So it's kind of coalesced into this weird thing.
And you got a ton of ideas from Twitter. It sounds like it was one of the first ideas, just like that box should jump.
Yes. So immediately somebody's like, make it jump. Like, come on, you're a game developer. So we did. We actually made it like a Super Mario Brothers style jump, and then we added in like the ability we had shooting at the time, so you're shooting, but everything was a box. And then somebody said those boxes look like soda cans, so we added this weird fizz mechanic where you shake the box, and then you activate it, and it's like a rocket that goes flying through the air. And
now you've got a shoot the ball mechanic, a pass mechanic, and also kind of a way to get the ball off the other guy.
Yep. And we try to keep it as minimal as possible to like just a few buttons. And so we have that kind of going in right now, and it feels pretty good, but of course we're going to be adding a bunch more stuff. We're here at the show.
Right.
We set up a suggestion box on idarb.com, and we literally have like 100 new suggestions in there right now from people who've been playing it like crazy. Like the things they're suggesting are things that are like really informed things. Like they've been going back and playing and back and playing. And
almost like you're at a game developers conference and game developers.
Believe it or not, it's like they're real designers or something.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
No.
So how much time is it taking you to actually make those iterations? I mean, it seems like it's about a month and a half, 2 months worth of work now?
It's been about 2 months.
So, I mean, you've ripped out and added numerous portions at that point. Like how quickly can you make those changes? Like, how long would it take you to add a giant robot that falls out of the sky?
So I can tell you exactly, the giant robot, because we were talking about, like, should we put the giant robot in? It took us 15 minutes to put the giant robot in. It was crazy. And the way we did is we're actually building this like we used to build old Game Boy games, or the old PC. Like, I had a Commodore 64 growing up, and I was making games for myself and my friends, and we just hack together all this stuff. The way this is all set up, it's easy to push builds to this thing really quickly and iterate. So we built an engine called Bake Sale, which is named after Bake Sale Betty's, this place that makes awesome chicken sandwiches. And we just kind of created this engine for this game and a couple other 2D things. And it's kind of an immediate mode game engine. So that means that we can throw things at it and not have to prep anything or whatever. So if we draw a giant robot, we just throw it in and there's a giant robot. There's no pipeline you have to kind of struggle with or anything. So it's really fast to get things iterating. And like there's the moments where you're like, okay, this is going to break everything. And you just do it.
Yeah.
And it's like wonderful. It's like it broke everything. And we're going to start showing people on Twitch what happens when we put some of these things in so they can see for themselves that, putting a giant robot in that shoots at all the players randomly really makes the game suck. But it looks cool, and so maybe we do something else with it.
Early on you tried every single idea, but now it seems like it is taking some kind of shape. If something came along that totally upset what you have here, would you be like, all right, let's throw all this out and go in this other direction? Or are you kind of like...
I think we would, actually. If somebody comes up with an idea and we try it out, we try to do every kind of crazy idea, and it makes the game better, we'll throw it out. And so the other thing that's kind of open right now is we have a one-player mode that we have no idea what we're going to do with one player with this game. It's a great multiplayer game. So we're pushing that out. What should we do as a one-player game? And we've already started getting great ideas from people.
So how do you know when you're done?
I don't know. I've never done this before, and it seems like nobody else has, so it's kind of scary. We're like, okay, let's ship it in the fall. Let's start where we're going to ship it in the fall. And we'll ship it, and if ideas keep coming, we can update the game. With Xbox One, it's like mobile. We can just update the game as great new innovations come in.
Yeah.
And why charge somebody for anything new and all that stuff? We'll just kind of grow it.
Do you think after release you would be willing to actually throw everything out, or at that point you're like, okay, we need to add to what's here or make changes?
I think it'd be pretty controversial, but I'm really curious to see what would happen.
Wouldn't that be awesome,
It would be really awesome.
If you're like, we shipped this game, but we've got a better idea for a game, we're replacing the game.
God. And I don't know what would happen. I kind of want to try it out. With the Twitter integration we're planning for this whole thing and stuff we have kind of working right now is like, we want people to change things in the game even through Twitter or Twitch. So if you want to start a tournament, you should be able to tweet like IDARBT and then create a tournament name, bust out stuff, and you got a week-long tournament that you started and you initiated and all that stuff.
And get other people on Twitter, build it all that way?
Yeah, so we're trying to do this integration so that people are contributing to the game. Like the next round when you're playing on Twitch, people should be able to vote the next arena and that sort of stuff. So we want to throw all that stuff in because it's super fun to see what happens when you do that. And then on the flip side of all that too is like we want to see how people feel when they're a part of the game development. So in our credits screen, you can literally like tweet to like hashtag IDARB credit and put a name in or a saying in our credit sequence. It all just shows up. It's crazy. We'll see a lot of like penis jokes or whatever, but it should be a game for the trolls as well as everybody else.
That's just user-generated content. The ESRB doesn't have to rate that stuff.
Exactly. It's just off limits.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mike, I wish you the best of luck. This is. Like I said, it's crazy and it's beautiful. It's it's pure in a really crazy way. So I can't wait to see where it goes.
I want to play you again.
Yeah. We will. We'll have to get some games in here.
All right.
When this gets turned off. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm joined by Mattia of Through Games, and we're here to check out Through, which is a new Kinect game for the Xbox One. But you guys are 3 students from the Netherlands, right?
We're actually 7 students from the Netherlands. But 1 is Italian, there's 2 German and 3 Dutch.
So can you give us a little background on Through? Because I first saw it a couple of weeks ago on a YouTube video, and my understanding is that it started as a game jam game.
Sure, we joined the Global Game Jam 2013. We basically do that every year. And the theme was, we don't see things as they are, but as we are. So we kind of use the Kinect in a literal way, like you can see the world through your shape, right? And basically the first ideas that we had nothing to do with Kinect. Then the programmer opened his bag and he found a Kinect, like he brought it, but he didn't remember that. And why don't we use the Kinect? So none of the team was really that experienced with making Kinect games or playing them. And I think that's why we decided to use a controller, because it's not something that a lot of developers do. I don't know, and we had this idea of using the shape of the player, and we brainstorm and prototype, and Through is what came out of it.
So how long is the Global Game Jam? Is that like 48 hours, 72 hours?
It's 48 hours. You get a theme and you have to make a game in that time. And we made this game in around 29 hours because we spent the rest of the time thinking about it.
How much time did you have to spend actually getting to like wrestle the Kinect to do what you wanted to do?
Well, that's pretty funny because we didn't know if the concept would work, and it only started working, like the technology only started working at 5 a.m. of the last day, right? So we were not sure if it would work technically or if it would be fun. Then it started working, I tried it, and I was like so excited that I designed, together with other 2 designers, like 10 levels in 15 minutes, and we tried it, and it was fun, it was amazing.
One of the things that happens with Game Jam games is that, you start with an idea and then that idea can shift a lot while you're making it because you suddenly realize, oh no, we only have 6 hours left. Yeah. So how did this idea start and then where did it kind of end?
Sure, okay, the idea actually started as a physics-based game in which it wasn't about 2 layers, but it was about 1 layer, everything was dark, and only what's inside the silhouette of the player will be revealed, right? And the player will be physically, the object will collide with the player, right? So if you would have a ball here and I will do this, it will roll inside me, right? but that didn't work at all. Like, we couldn't get the physics right, then we did, and it ran at like 3 FPS per second. So that wasn't doable. And actually, it was pretty good that it wasn't doable, because that's how we got the idea for Fru, and we stopped using the player actively as a collider, but we used it passively as a mask.
What have you found when you've watched people play Fru that maybe aren't really familiar with games? It seems like it's something that you could kind of give to someone that isn't really familiar with how games work, and they could kind of get it to kind of work for them.
Sure, well, we found that there's a lot of solution that we hadn't planned, because the game doesn't really rely on an element that is inside the game, but on the position, the shape, and the movement of a person, and that's different for everybody. So for some people it would be natural to crouch down, but for others to just jump. So we found like so many solutions for levels that we hadn't thought about, right? And we discovered that like tall players have, we thought there might be difficulties for players that are too tall or a different shape, but instead they just found different ways of playing it, which was really great to see and really interesting.
So are you guys hoping to turn this into like something bigger and more fleshed out, or are you just going to kind of leave it as sort of an experiment?
We're going to completely rewrite it. Like all the technology is going to be rewritten, and the fact that we're using Kinect 2 also enables us to use more than one player, right? Up to 8. So this means that each player will have its own layer. So it will become some sort of multiplayer twister puzzle platformer, right? Like I need the platform here, but the other player needs it here, so we're both kind of trying to fit in on the screen. And yeah, it will change the experience completely. We're really looking forward to see how that plays.
All right, well, thanks so much for your time, and good luck with the rest of the development on Fru.
Thanks a lot.
And we're here with Dan Teasdale from No Goblin. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Thanks for asking.
Great. It's good to be here and finally check out Roundabout. You've been talking about this game for a while. First time it's been kind of out and playable. Let's start at the top. What is Roundabout?
Roundabout is the spiritual successor to Super Drake Tracker, but set in 1977 and about a revolving limousine.
Naturally, of course. That's pretty much how it would have to go. So you have a lot of full motion video in this game, it seems like, which, when you think I don't know, when I think indie game, you think about like kind of smaller production values, focusing on the game aspect of it. You are focusing on that stuff and then going out and shooting all this crazy stuff. What has Twisted Pixel done to you?
I don't even know anymore. I wake up in the morning and I'm like covered in cold sweat and I just have FMV ideas. I've been to a doctor. They don't know. I have to make FMV games now. It's a terrible curse.
It's not a terrible curse. Someone needs to do it. So spinning limousine, seems like the gameplay is about dodging obstacles, kind of a Kururin kind of thing. How did the idea come about?
A lot of it was from Kururin. Like we had that spinning idea, and I loved Kururin, but no one, like it was completely abandoned, and all the Kururin games past the third one were absolute trash. Yep. So it was like, what if we did that, took it into today, put it in an open world, chucked in some crazy taxis, some GTA, put in some full motion video, and then released it as a video game. That was kind of our thought process.
And it's not just a score-based game, like you've got like actual missions in there. It's like story missions and side missions. Like, is there an overall narrative to it? Like, what are you trying to, as the limousine driver, as Giorgio, what are you trying to accomplish?
So as the whole game is revisiting Giorgio's rise to fame. So you start off when Giorgio first starts to learn how to spin. You go through all the trials that Giorgio has, like finding out about rivals, going into some dubious drugs, and then it's like finding out how that resolves. So it's basically the whole rise to fame of being a revolving limousine driver in 1977.
And then a lot of side missions that are kind of using some of the same characters and stuff like that. When I was playing it earlier, you described it as kind of having a Tony Hawk-like system to its tricks and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you've got the whole movement and rotating down, you have a scoring system that is basically Tony Hawk, but instead of tricks, you're picking up pickups and objects. And instead of manuals, you're running over people and small objects. So it's kind of you're trying to get to a pickup, and then you're trying to chain that by running over people to the next pickup.
How long do you expect this to be? I mean, like the FMV and stuff, like how many minutes of FMV do you think you'll shoot? That's maybe a weird question, but like, how long are you expecting the video portion to be, I guess?
Too many minutes, so many shoots. So we're looking at about like 40 or 50 story missions, about a dozen side missions, and then all of the open world stuff like pickups and collectibles, buying property, things like that. We're actually going to do another FMV shoot in May. So if you want to be in Roundabout Game, you can send a message to Roundabout Game on Twitter and sign up, and we'll get you in the game.
Wow, that's very democracy focused. Seems like you have a lot of video games superstars already appearing in some of the FMV sequences. Just people just come out of the woodwork. I see E in there. Who else you got?
Yeah, just we have the finest talent that you can get for an indie game, slapdash FMV production. We have Kate Welsh from ArenaNet as Giorgio. We have Eka on screen right now as he's from Uber and he's a rich millionaire. We have myself as an Australian soccer player because I'm not going to an Outback, so that's the closest you're going to get to seeing me stereotyping. We have a ton of LP people. We have Medibot, who is the guy that runs the Pro Yoshi's Cookie Esports League, which is really the true successor of esports. And I'm promoting that because I believe in Pro Yoko. So
it's the only true esports left.
Exactly. We have Psychedelic Eyeball. We have like a bunch of like people who are really well known in the LP community that we brought in as well to basically shamelessly exploit those communities and make lots of money.
That's very smart. You've really thought about the business end of this. Is this going to work with the Rock Band stage kit?
Yes. This worked for me for E3. It's going to work right now.
Okay, great. Is there any sort of awesomeness detection in this game?
Yes, there is. There's awesomeness. We have a bunch of things you can upgrade your limousine with. Hats, horns, paint jobs. One of the horns is an awesomeness detector. And it works with all of the same functionality that you see in Rock Band.
Great. No, I mean, it was such a deep system in Rock Band. It's really great to see that kind of traveling onto, just spreading out to different genres. I think it's really important.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame no one's picked that up and like take that, like it's amazing state-of-the-art technology and no one's picked it up.
How much more work, I mean, is it literally you have another shoot, but do you already have kind of the missions in mind that you are shooting for and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we're looking to ship 2014, so we have the game playable, but we're just like piling all of our content, refining things down, and getting it ready for Xbox One and PC, Mac, and Linux.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it and seeing what other... Well, actually, wait. I've got one last question. How much does it cost to buy a skeleton off Amazon?
$46, and it's glow in the dark as well. 5 feet.
5-foot glow-in-the-dark skeleton, $46. That seems like a reasonable expense, and you can write that off.
Yeah, it is part of our company expense. We're going to have to depreciate it over time, go to an accountant, make sure we're doing it properly, but...
We've got to amortize these skeletons.
Yeah, we have a company skeleton, which is something I've been working in games 15 years, and now we own a company skeleton. My life is complete.
Well, that's then I guess this is going to be your last game.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on the grand opening and grand closing of No Goblin in 2014.
I'm looking forward to spending more time with my family.
Great, absolutely. Thanks, Dan.